Who's ready to talk about some zombie killing? Right on. So without further ado, please give a big round of applause. Applause. There you go. Hey, ruined that, didn't I? Big round of applause for Nick, Jolene, and Stephanie for Resident Evil. Wherever you want to sit, microphones, seats aplenty. All right. Should we shift a little bit? However you want to sit, wherever you want to go, that's up to you. Okay. We're pretty lenient here. We don't care.
Oh my gosh.
So welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming to SacAnime. We appreciate it.
Oh. I love you too.
Everybody loves Leon.
What's up, everybody? What's up?
How we doing, SacAnime?
You guys look really great. This is really cool to see.
Yeah, there's some good cosplay out there for the show.
Yeah,
so
I'm a little scared with what's going on the left-hand side with Mr. X, though. I swear if I hear footsteps, that's it. I'm out. So.
Blum,
that
blum.
is creepy. Looks like y'all made it out of Raccoon City. Thanks for coming. This is really, really cool. It's awesome to have all you guys here.
Is this all of your guys' first time at a Sacramento show in Sacramento in general?
Yes,
oh,
it is.
Cool. Mm-hmm. So you guys are the inaugural crowd. Check that out.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
So how's it been going? I mean,
great.
Just in general. I mean, the Resident Evil riding the wave of RE. I mean, classic survival horror game, redone, remastered, and all thanks to you guys being a part of it. So how is that? How does that change things for you guys? I mean,
who wants to go first?
Yeah, you want to start down the line? Start with Nick.
Come on, Nick. Let's go.
This is just a dream come true. I mean, I'm doing this because I love it. I've been playing these games for well over 2 decades at this point, and I'm just a huge fanboy. So I'm just ecstatic to be here.
Right on.
I don't know what else I could say.
I just love it. Like, I've been playing video games in general for a long time. And then getting to obviously play an incredibly, to me, an iconic female who's wait, are there children in here? Can I say certain words? Is badass acceptable? Badass is acceptable, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
She's a total badass. And so, to me, right? So, to me, it's just like a huge honor to get to play a female character who can hold her own, who just doesn't have to rely on, like, just being sexy. Like, she just kind of is, you know? So, little wacky, that's probably her thing, but I love it. It's been so great being part of the Resident Evil franchise, getting to meet the Resident Evil community. You guys are the best. And I have to say a quick thank you to Maddie and to Brad, who are huge fans, that are absolutely amazing human beings too. They literally gifted me this cosplay. Gun, jacket, knife, like, I don't understand. You guys literally are the most amazing community, and the most amazing humans that I have met has been through Resident Evil, and I know that we all feel incredibly fortunate for that, and just to be a part of the franchise. But you guys are really awesome, and we thoroughly appreciate you guys and love you guys, so thank you.
Well said.
Yeah, I don't know how I can really follow that up. So I didn't know what I was getting into when I got into Resident Evil, or when I was sort of introduced to Ada and her character. So for me, it's just been really amazing because I love Ada so much. So for me, it's just a really great honor to be able to bring her to life and just be able to sort of embody her and have her kind of in my life. And I didn't, you know, when we were making this, we didn't know how it was going to turn out. You know, we didn't know if you guys were going to love it, or, you know, there was a lot of resentment that we were remaking it at all. And so to have everyone love it so much is just so magical for us and so great. And to have you guys come out and meet us and tell us how much you love it and to actually love playing the game is really makes it all worth it. So it's changed my life a lot because I'm here with you guys, and I love kind of, I love the part I get to play, and I love these guys, so, and I love you guys. Thanks for being here.
Oh. So, I mean, Resident Evil obviously been around for a long time, and I don't care who you are. The first dog jumps through that window and RE1, you jump. I don't care who you are. But it was, I mean, do you think you guys, I mean, RE3 is going to be,
yeah.
Can you guys talk about that? Spoilers, is that okay?
We don't know anything.
Oh.
We don't know anything more than
Jill
you guys
looks
do.
sick. So, yeah.
We are so excited for that to come out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, going through that series again, that brings back a lot of memories. I mean, that was old PlayStation 1 stuff. I mean, that was, so. But, I mean, we definitely, these guys, this panel's for you guys. So if you guys have questions, by all means, we have the mic up here with Marcos. You can come up and line up at the front of the line there. But, I mean, did you guys, I mean, you were talking about the community, meeting all the fans from the community. Did you think that the remake, the impact that it would have would be something like this?
Going into it, I wasn't sure. I had a lot of faith in Capcom, but RE2, the original, was such an iconic classic game. It's a hard one to follow. And Capcom went in some different directions in the past couple of years, and I think they brought it right back to the roots with this one. And I think they hit it out of the park. And I think they got their rhythm down now, and that's why I'm super excited for RE3 personally. But I think it came out good. You guys like the game? How many times you beat it? Yeah. How many times did you kill us? You bastard!
We didn't get us killed. Oh man, yeah. Honestly, I don't think we had any idea that it was going to be so well received. To be honest, like, we were doing a remake, so we were kind of like the underdogs of like, hey, you're gonna make this like classic game and hope that everybody loves it, and then you start reading the comments on the internet, because yes, we do read your comments. We shouldn't. But before it came out, like, I definitely was all incognito, like, what do they think of Claire? And they're all like, I bet she sucks, you know? Like, all this stuff, oh, not my Claire. And I was like, oh, shoot. This is gonna suck, you know? And then to see how well received it was just a shock. And it was a shock for Capcom, too. Capcom didn't realize how well it was gonna do, but what we did do was still give as much love as we could and made it as true as we could to the original, but making it our own and having that essence of it staying fresh. And so that was a real big shocker for everybody, for all the developers, for all of us, for everyone. It was a shocker, but what's nice is that you guys saw the love that we put into it. And then critics, I mean, I'm just gonna say this, but thank you to everyone, because all of you fans nominated for Golden Joystick Awards. We won the Game of the Year for the Golden Joystick Awards because of fans. That's because of you guys.
Yeah, that's for you.
That's you guys. And then we were nominated for Game of the Year. Like, I mean, that was huge. That's huge. We're talking about Resident Evil 2. Like, thank you guys. That's all I have to say. It's literally because of you guys, and we were shocked, and we're so blessed to be able to be a part of it. So
Cool. Should we take a question?
No.
Yeah. Put you on the spot. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. So I'm gonna first
is that
start.
Dante?
Yeah, it's me.
What's up, Dante?
You know, ceilings, the okay AC heater. You know, it's really warm in here compared to out there. But anyways, I do want to say your passion just so moving right now. The love you are expressing for this series. Touches my soul. I'm gonna cry. Devils never cry. But never mind that. The real question is, on the set, what were your favorite memories or funniest memories while working on the game as a voice actor?
Nick, you have a great one. Please share your story.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I'm a method actor, and that means I like to feel conditions if I'm supposed to be tired or this or that. Like, I like everything to be as real as possible with my physiology. And so we were doing some voiceover recording, and I've mentioned this in a few interviews. The very last voiceover session for ADR, when I have all the screams, the yells when you're playing Leon, we were doing all the death screams. All the ones where I die from fire, I blow up, zombie eats me, you name it, we did it. And it was really hot in the room. The last session, it was about 4 hours long. My voice was getting all tense and scratchy. And the director, Tom, said, hey, we're gonna do one more scream. This is the last one, then we can all go home and we wrap the game. And I said, great. So he said, imagine that a big monster impales you in the stomach, lifts you up, grabs your throat, chokes the life out of you. You got blood gurgling, and then you gasp for your last breath, and then you die. I said, wow, holy shit, okay, let's do this. So me being a method actor, I put some liquid in my throat to get that gargle sound. And for this last one, because it was the final one, I literally choked myself out. And I passed out in the booth because I had no more oxygen in my throat. It was like that. And I fell down, and I just, like a tree in the forest, just planted. And he thought that was part of my act until my legs started shaking like this, and he realized I just passed out. And
There's
I got
recording of this.
So he did this for you. He took one for the team.
This was funny, and so nobody was laughing except for one person. And Capcom thought it was so funny that they actually gave me that sound file. I wish I had it ready. I'd play it for you guys, but it's in the game. So in the game, I have heard it, that gurgle and that death. So that's a cool little factoid.
And this is why Leon wears elbow pads and knee pads. Unfortunately, no helmet. I'm kidding. Let's see, favorite memory, or fun time throughout it? I can't beat that. But I would have to say I had a great time interacting with Eliza Pryor, who plays Sherry. And so her and I bonded, anytime that we had moments, when we weren't shooting and stuff, we would sit there and play patty cake. And it was really cool because we actually had the screen up and you would see Claire in real time playing patty cake with Sherry, and there was these really cute moments. So that was really sweet. And then I would probably say just the amazing workout I got of carrying her all the time. That was great. And then other than that, it was just fun. It was just fun all around. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a great time on set because we all get along really well and we worked really well together. I loved working with our director, Tom Keegan. Sometimes I don't want to say this you don't always get to work with someone of his caliber, of his talent and his insight and all of that. So working with him every day was sort of like an acting lesson, or there was just a lot of growth during that time, and I would kind of see him turn some of our scenes into really great scenes, magic, like what's ended up in the game. And that was just one of my favorite things, is to be able to work with Tom. He was a really, really incredible director. And then I loved, and I didn't know anything about Resident Evil. I wasn't familiar with the franchise, the game, the story, any of it. So I loved whenever Ada and Leon had scenes together where Ada was a bit more sensitive and things were a bit more complicated. It was just really fun to explore that, and I know that the fans really love that storyline. So I loved when you sort of she would just got a little bit more complicated. Those were really my favorite shooting days. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. What's up, Claire?
Hi.
Looking good.
You too. So, as a big fan of the series, I was really curious. What got the three of you onto the path of getting into the Resident Evil series, exploring those games? What inspired you onto that path? Because it's kind of a niche series when it came out originally, in the 90s.
why do we start playing, or how do we start playing?
Yeah. Why did you start playing? What inspired you to do it?
Oh, my buddy, let's see, back in like 90, 98, my buddy asked me if I wanted to sleep over and play this zombie game. And I told my mother, I said, oh, it's this new game where you shoot people's heads off and stuff. And she goes, no, you're not playing that game, honey. You're not doing it. And I said, okay, we're not going to play that. And we did anyways, and that was RE2.
Good start.
And my fondest memory is just Leon escaping through the exploding city of Raccoon City with the fire going through the zombies, and that moment just locked me in forever.
For me, let's see. I have 3 brothers. I have 3 younger brothers, and we all kind of like started bringing in games like randomly. So I think the biggest thing that I can remember was probably a similar situation where it's like we got access to a game we shouldn't be playing, and just getting to like sit there and like play it, and then every time like mom and dad comes in, you kind of like turn it off, or like you act like you're just chatting, you know.
You saw nothing.
Exactly, you know. So I think that was probably it. And I loved getting scared like as a kid. That was like my thing. Like I could not, like I just for some reason wanted to be scared and paranoid all the time. I don't understand that concept, but it makes sense in a weird way. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, I think that's what it was. It was the intrigue of like, I know I shouldn't be playing this. Ooh, this is good. So yeah.
That's a terrible question for me because I don't play it. But you know what? Nick's been sort of saying that we should go over and all play it together, which would be really embarrassing because I'd be really bad at it. But and everyone says it's too scary. Everyone says it's really, really scary. So
that's the point.
I don't know.
They're supposed to scare you.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I have to get back to you.
I think what got me into it was seeing William Birkin's figurines, each of the action figures of his mutations for the first time. I saw that and I was instantly won over.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's sweet.
Thank you guys very much.
Cool.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you as well.
Hello. I just want to say I appreciate the work you guys put into this project. I was curious, did you have to play or watch any of the original Resident Evil 2 to get inspired for your characters in this remake?
I knew everything, dude. I had to kind of get some of the stuff out of my head, so I wasn't over inspired. I wanted to put my own little twist on things, and the director said the same thing. They all wanted you to this was a reimagining with the same backbone, if you will. So that's my short answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar situation because, so I had a moment with Mr. H, like the producer, and we were all talking to him like at the end of like one of our first shoots, and it was like, we were like, oh, so what do you think? And I was like, so what do you think? Do you think I should do something different? Like, should I do like something more like this? Should I change her voice? Should I make her a little bit like higher pitched, or like, you know, and like, and he's like watching me do all this, because in my head I was like, okay, so it's Claire Redfield, but they don't want exactly the same Claire Redfield, but like, I love like Tomb Raider, so I'm like, is she kind of like Lara-ish? No, she's not. Is she like, I love like The Last of Us? Is she like Ellie? No, she's not. You know what I mean? And I had to have this moment where actually our director said to me, he looked at me, he said, you are not this character or this character, and you create your own. And I just remember looking at him and I was like, oh, like this is my time to like just make her mine. And then when I was with Mr. H, and I went over and I was like asking all these questions, and he looked at me and goes, you just are Claire. You just do what you do. And I was like, oh, okay, that was easy. And then it just like, it kind of all clicked, because I realized like we were taking the essence of Resident Evil 2, the essence of those characters, but we were making them completely fresh. And that gave so much liberty to be able to make something true and real and honest then, you know? Because it's a remake, but it's not a remake. It's really not. You know, we're taking the heart of it, but we're completely painting all, like we just literally expanded you know, the painting into something completely big and immersive and stuff. And so that was the big thing, was just figuring out how to keep the true essence, but making it completely fresh. So you guys could enjoy it and not be like, oh, I've already done this. Like, I love the original. Why the hell did you make it again? You know what I mean? So you could do it and be like, oh, I get it. You know, so that was the big thing for us, is just take the heart, change it, shake it up, and make it now. So.
I had the benefit of not knowing anything about the franchise, so and I knew a little bit about Ada because I'd done mocap and stuff for her before, and she's sort of, her character speaks for herself. I mean, you know, I'm just inspired by the character that's been created by other people, and then you know, we just get a script that's sort of just like a narrative. And there's a lot of information there. Yeah, and then we just sort of had the freedom to make it our own. You know, you go through a pretty lengthy casting process, so by the time they have you and they've offered you the job, they're pretty happy with you know, where you're going with things. So just kind of, you know, just talking to the writers and the directors and all of us working together, we kind of hash everything out, and just sort of created the characters that way. But I didn't do any sort of research. I didn't go back and watch the old movies or play the games or anything like that, because I think sometimes that kind of stuff just kind of gets in the way. Whereas, you know, I didn't even know the storyline. Like, every time I'd come to work, I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen next. I only realized now that, like, the whole world knows what happens next. There's like this huge franchise. I didn't know that. I thought they were writing like a new story, and so I almost didn't consider that I could go back and sort of borrow something from someone else. Or, so yeah, there was a lot of just like creating these really great characters in the moment, and you know, and also characters that were already there, like fully formed on paper. You know.
Thank you for coming to SacAnime.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
for
coming. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
Hi. I was wondering how the Birkin forms and the Tyrant were mocapped, how that was done.
So
TJ.
I worked a lot. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
TJ Rotolo, he played Birkin, and he also played all of his forms, I believe. Yeah, and he's a stunt guy. He's a coordinator. He's a very physical person, very intense on set, and he's the essence that they needed to play Birkin. And I believe I captured one fight. I forget which form it was. Maybe form 4. And he was on the screen. It was just TJ acting with me in a suit, but on the screen he had the 4 arms going on, and he was jumping around the set, chasing me, and like, that was really fun. But that was my one experience with any kind of G, was that one.
And they, so they actually, in order to create the space, we as actors have to envision where our lines of sight are too. So they'll actually have like something taller than him that he'll have with him, or like someone behind, that'll show us where our line of sight is, you know? So if we're looking up, like, he's clearly not that massive, you know, in real life. But for us, like, we're having to envision when he moves, like those big movements that he does, he's thinking heavy, right? So like, if he's G, he's not gonna be like, you know what I mean? He's not gonna move like that. He's gonna move real heavy, and like, there's gonna be big stops every time he does something. So that was something on his performance, on how he did that, and then creating lines of sight for us as the actors to be able to look at. So we weren't constantly just like staring at like where G's like chest or stomach would be. We would be staring up at his face. So, yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Sweet. Thanks.
Thank you.
So
Hello.
I just want to say real quick, my favorite dialogue in the whole game is in Leon Scenario A, when Claire's locked outside the chain link fence, because that conversation is so genuine. I love it so much. Every time I play, I watch that cutscene, even if I'm trying to go for a fast playthrough. My question was, for me, easily best game of the year last year, and it didn't win the Game Awards. I want to ask, did you think it should have, or do you think Sekiro, or was there something else entirely you think that could have won Game of the Year?
Oh, we were just happy to be nominated. I haven't played Sekiro. Have you? Have you played it?
No.
I'm sure it's an awesome game. I'll play it one day. But like I said, it's not necessarily about winning. It's you know, the fans gave us the joystick awards.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. That's forever.
That was yeah. We'll have that forever, and it was just it was just fun getting to be like, so we all went and like we got all dressed up, you know, we're just like, oh my God, it's Resident Evil 2. Like every time they would call things, like that's huge for us in general. Nominations, period, are big, you know? So, and just to get recognized, that's what I keep saying, like, this remake got recognized. I don't think a remake has ever done so well, ever. Like they're
right.
like, I'm not kidding. They're like all the games now. Like if they're doing any remakes, they're constantly using this as a reference point now. That's huge. I don't care whether we won or didn't win. Like for us, like as actors, hell yeah, thank you. You know, so.
And it further proves for Capcom that the recipe was right this time, and so they're not going to slow down one bit, and that's good for all of us because we're going to get more kick games.
Because we get Resi 3 in like 3 months, and I'm happy for that too. So
April 3rd, baby, April 3rd.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks
for coming.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Nick.
Hello.
Hi, Jolene.
Hi.
So, I definitely take it you guys love to play video games. I bet there were probably countless moments playing some horror games that really scared the pants off of you. What was the scariest moment in a game you ever dealt with, whether it was like Resident Evil or any other horror game?
Oh, can I tackle this one real quick? I gotta say, the original Silent Hill scared the bejesus out of me. That was the only game I've ever played to this day that I did not want to go really into the next room, or I didn't want to go in the school, or I didn't want the siren to go off and the walls to peel off, and that game was horrifying. I would put the covers over my head at night because of those little monsters running around.
Those like little like demented baby-like monsters.
What impressed me about that game is that the graphics were nothing to write home about.
No.
The monsters, a little bit cheesy. The psychological effect of that game effed with me, and that's why I appreciate it, because it wasn't so gruesome. It was just like really unsettling, you know. That's my vote.
Man, I can't come up with one specifically. I know that if we're talking just RE2 from playing this one.
That counts too.
Yeah. I think you guys have probably seen on the Twitch channel how many times I got scared. But for those of you that don't know, I was Twitch streaming as Claire, playing Claire. And I would probably say I had some pretty effed up moments with liquors. Like that first time when the liquor shows up, even in the original, you know, when that first moment when that liquor shows up and you're just looking up, you're like, what the hell is that? You know, like that, I would say probably freaked me out the most. And also because you didn't know when they were around necessarily. They would just kind of creep up on you. Like I know sometimes you would hear a little bit of footsteps, but sometimes you wouldn't. I also have to say that I really liked, in particular with this game, was when you thought you killed the zombie and the zombie's not dead. You know, and you're just like, oh, they're all dead. The room is safe. It's clear, you know. And you walk by, and then all of a sudden they just like grab your leg. What was the other thing that got me? Was it the ivies? The ivies, right? Like the
awesome.
ivies was a whole nother thing that I just like it crushed me because I couldn't kill them ever. At least the zombie eventually dies, you know, but the ivies never went. So.
Flamethrower, baby. Flamethrower.
Yeah.
I haven't played video games since Atari. I did play Space Invaders, and it would freak me out when it would. Is anyone old enough to remember Space Invaders?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, you know, it would get tense. It would get, you know, that's it. That's my answer. Thanks for raising your hands, too. That's
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you also for the Oreos, for you guys, and yes, the Oreos keep pouring in. If anyone knows, when I stream, I pound Oreos and I go insane. I binge. So, would you like some?
Yes, please.
There you go. We get mega stuff going on here.
Mega stuff.
I'm a purist. I like the original.
She's all for original. We did talk about this. I'll just sit here and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
I'm really short.
So I just wanted to say really quickly, first of all, thank you not only for the quality work you guys have done, but like somebody else said, the passion. There's nothing cooler than like coming to an event like this and connecting with the actors, like wearing the same costume, or just like talking about the game in general. So I was curious if there was a moment in filming, whether it be like recording or the mocap, what moment like hit you the most emotionally and made you really connect with your character?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, I'll start that one because I think I sort of mentioned it before. You know, Ada's character always seems so like cold and calculated and in charge and icy and kind of, you know, so when we would have those more sensitive scenes between her and Leon, and because I knew nothing about her, I'd be like, oh, what's going on here? Like, we'd have to talk very deeply about like how these people feel, who these people are, and all these other things. And by the end of, I think that week, we shot all of those like scenes sort of like at the end. And when she like dies, or does she die? I'm not really sure. When she like lets go of the thing, and Leon like lets her go, and I was like, she dies, and then her and Leon, they don't stay together. Like I was just so emotionally just like, wait, but what about the story? And then someone was like, Jolene, she doesn't. I was like, oh, okay. Like I was really emotionally impacted by that because we'd done all of this like, sort of like character work and stuff. And I love that, and it's always fun when a character surprises you both as an audience and then as an actor. It's really fun. So that was my story.
So let's see. With Claire, there's a lot. I'll break it down with this. With Claire, when I was trying to figure her out and like what is her motives, like why does she even do any of this? Like Claire's a loner. She's a total loner. Like she legit has nobody, you know? She has her brother, but she's an orphan, you know? So like, why is that such a big deal for her to go to Raccoon City? Why does she go there in the first place? You know, maybe her brother is not calling her, you know what I mean? And she's got nobody else. Like I get it, she has a friend who she talks to, but like obviously everyone's like constantly like, oh, you're gonna get in trouble, you're gonna get into this, you're gonna get into that, you know what I mean? Like who knows, she probably gets teased a lot for like the way she is or the way she goes about things. And so when she goes into Raccoon City, I mean, she's completely alone. She's looking for her brother, right? She finds someone, Mr. Leon here, who tries to shoot her at first, and then, you know, then she attaches to Leon because she's like, oh, I have someone here that can help me. Guess what? Leon's separated. They can't hang out anymore, right? Then she finds Marvin. What happens to Marvin? You know, like, so now Marvin is gone. Now she finds herself completely alone once again, and she finds Sherry. So now Sherry for me was a representation of how Claire feels in life. A sense of, you know, we don't know how deep it gets, but a sense of abandonment and being alone, you know? So when she does that, there's a resistance or a regret to want to help, but she wants to help because she sees herself within that child, right? So when she sees, you know, mom, Annette Birkin, like rejecting her own daughter and all this stuff, she feels pain from her own essence, you know, of like what may have happened. And so that was really big for me to connect all that stuff. So when she has that moment with Sherry, where they're in the garbage compactor, you know, and her mom just rejected her, you know, and Sherry looks up at her with this like, I mean, imagine a small child looking up at you and being like, why are you doing this? After her own mother just rejected her. And a complete stranger, like, literally just says, because I care. That's it. And that, I think, is just so huge, personally, because it doesn't matter who the hell you are, we're all human. And the fact that, like, you go out, and in moments like that, you go out of your way and connect with someone you don't know and you care enough to be there for that person, that was huge for me, because that's when I realized, like, what was her real reason for everything, and it was to find real connection with people. So I loved that. That was my thing. So sorry, I got really deep, but
that was
yeah.
a deep answer.
Yeah.
I like the I have two favorite scenes. and I've said this a lot, the scene with Kendo when he has to take care of his daughter, to me that is one of the most emotional scenes I've ever seen in our RE game. And to me it sums up the whole universe that we're in with the franchise. And I like that for Leon because it was a turning point for him. One of the biggest things that the developers wanted to make sure that was in this game and very evident through the writing and directing and acting was Leon's arc. So obviously starts out like a really earnest, like Boy Scout, you know, really bright-eyed and kind of naive. And then there is a point where he shifts, and then he turns, and he learns that the world is kind of f***ed up, you know. And that was the scene, I think, was the turning point, where he's like, okay, you know what? You know, I don't know if I can trust this lady here. I need to figure out what's going on. And he says those exact lines. And the game takes a turn there for him. And I think it was a really emotional scene, very quiet and somber, and I liked it a lot. That was one of my favorites filming. And Ken Lally, who did he did the mocap and voice for Kendo, he's a great actor, very, very intense. And the second scene, another really emotional one, was when I confronted Ada at the very end. And I just have fond memories of shooting that with Jolene. That was a really, really nicely done scene. There's a lot of raw emotion going on. And again, that was the turning point for Leon. There's no going back. And that almost sets up what he turns into in the future. And I just think those are pivotal in the whole timeline of Resident Evil. And I remember, I'll just spit it out. We did an exercise. You don't mind me saying this, Jolene, the exercise that we did for this?
Feel free. Yeah.
This was really interesting. Tom, the director, is a phenomenal guy. He really knows his stuff. Yeah. And to get into the emotion, like the double cross, the heartbreak that I have for, like, how the f could she do this to me? In rehearsals, in between every single line that I spoke, Tom said to me, to say to Jolene, tell me you love me, before every line. And every time it came out different, because, you know, as the scene progressed and the dialogue progressed, it escalated, it turned and pivoted here and there. And so the tell me you love me evolved with the lines, and we did that, and we did it, and then we did a take, and we probably kept like the one right after that.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
My question is, if you guys weren't able to play your characters in a Resident Evil 2 movie, who would you like to see play your guys' character and why?
Ooh,
Live
that's
action?
Yes, if you guys couldn't cast yourself.
That is a great question.
Wait, if this became an actual movie, who would we like to see play our roles?
Yes.
How dare you?
I know, right? Why can't it be us?
If someone's casting for the role of Ada, I'd really like to be considered for the. Yeah, no, I can't answer that question. I would hope it would be me.
I would want Jolene to play Leon.
Although that would be fun, actually.
I need a second.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Huh.
Jeez. See, we're the worst. They don't want anyone else to play them either.
No, we're very territorial. No, yeah.
Thank you. Exactly.
I'm not sure.
Why don't we circle back to that one?
Yeah.
Let us think about that. You can stay up there if you want. I just need to think.
Yeah, no worries. No
Yeah.
Well, my question's been cut off, which is okay, but I just want to say nobody can run for their lives like those three. Let me tell you. And I do want to also say golden Oreos are the better Oreos. Who's with me on that?
I strongly disagree with you.
Oreos?
Yeah, but didn't you make me draw yesterday? I don't know. You like torture. You like to torture individuals.
For that comment, I have a rocket launcher for you, sir.
Oh my gosh.
Any last minute thoughts on that movie character? No.
Movie character.
Who would play you or?
DiCaprio in '98. I don't know who else could play that.
In '98, yeah. Ooh, I don't know. I can't. The thing is, it's the personality and the look is what I'm having trouble with. So I don't know. I don't know. I really can't figure it out right now. I mean, there's plenty of people I'd be like look-wise or like personality-wise, but matching both, I can't think of it right now. Yeah.
I feel like I'm the only honest one up here. That's just.
Nobody else. So.
I mean.
But that is our time for this session. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.
Give a big round of applause to Nick, Jolene, and Stephanie. Thank you so much for being at our show. Thank you coming to Sacramento for us. We love you guys. You guys have a photo ops? Do you guys have signing sessions the rest of the day?
We do. We have a photo op literally right after this. So if you guys want to do a photo op, we are in cosplay. So
first time.
Today would
first
be
time.
Oh, this has never happened before. We have not all three been together at a convention yet. We've all done cons separately, or two of us and stuff like that. So it's the first time ever that we're all together. So. And paneling together.
Yeah, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you so much for the continued
Thank
support
you so
for the Resident Evil community. It's awesome, and it's just it's humbling just to be a part of it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you much, everybody.